Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Good Morning NASDAQ. This is Friday, November 7th. Last day, Dom is not with us. But like I said, throughout the whole week, Mahdi and I are here holding it down. No idea if Dom is still caught a deer. We haven't been in communication with. I don't even know if he has cell phone service, but he's off having a grand old time. And honestly, couldn't picked a better week for Dom to not be here. Boy, oh boy, has it been grim, slow, and slightly depressing. But that's all right. That's trading sometimes. Good morning, chat. Good morning, Huddy. Last day of the week. Couldn't come any sooner. TGI Fridays. Thank God. The weekend. But yeah. Good morning, NASDAQ. We're going to go over some gappers. I think there's only really one. MSGM here. 113%. Shall we dive right in, honey, or do you have anything you want to start us off with and say to the viewers?
Let's just dive right in. It's a slow week. The markets are weak. There's not a lot to do out here right now. It's what's crazy is how fast it shifted, right? Like last month we were
So
rocking
fast.
and rolling, and then this month it was like whoa, put on the brakes. Which is fine. Just kind of have to adapt to that nuance and probably spend less time staring at the screen.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing in my opinion.
Yeah. Usually I'm pretty good at that, or I've gotten over the years gotten good at that. But I will say this time I was. It's like it's almost like you're driving really fast and a turn's coming, and so naturally you should slow down. It's like I didn't slow down. I just skid across into the rails on the side of the cliff and didn't fall over. But now my car is scratched, so definitely did not adapt quickly enough, or even still like everything's fine, but it happens. All right, first gapper. MSGM, this was running in after hours. I don't even have dilution tracker up yet. But this was running in after hours for those who can't see it. Pretty sick run. Saw news that they released earnings, but those earnings weren't even good. But they don't have to necessarily be good to run. Who cares when they run? They're just sometimes earnings just is a trigger to get it going. But 2.7 million share float. Let me just make sure there's no other news I see. But yeah, just third quarter financial results. To give you guys an idea, I remember looking at it, I was like, this isn't anything crazy. I don't think they even, oh, there we go. There's the numbers. Yeah, revenues are 3.1 million. That's not, they doubled it, sure. A little under double it since last year. Yeah, earnings they beat it, but wait. Oh yeah, they returned to it. This is probably the big difference. They turned a gain from a loss. So they did lose 18 cents a share. Now they made 14 cents a share. But either way, it's like we're talking with 3 million. This is small time. This is nothing crazy. This company's already 30 million and it's going to run even more. So I don't know if dilution tracker accounts for the gap already, and I would assume they don't. But now it's like 60 million plus, all for just a couple million more in revenue. It doesn't seem a little bit extreme, but again, this company, if you look at the chart, clearly I don't think it cares about fundamentals all too much. Cash flow positive. This is also what's sketchy because we've seen a ton of stocks like this where they say cash flow positive and they're from a different country when, I don't know, I don't want to take a book by its cover, but it's like I would almost guarantee almost all of them are never cash flow positive. Because this would show that it's cash flow positive for the last year because it hasn't lost cash, but we know for the last year their earnings were negative. So how could you be cash flow positive if you lost money? But so I digress. It's a little sketch. Some warrants, 217. We're above that. Maybe they use them. Maybe they don't. Warrants at a cent. Maybe they use those. Maybe they don't. Terminated ATM. This is no longer valid. They got an equity line. Okay. And they got some shelves. Also valid, but not much left. That's all she wrote. Pretty impressive. Last time it spiked, it actually held up. She had pretty good hold up for the last 6 months. It looks like. I know we traded this one time. I think I remember just trading it during this run, and it was a nightmare. I remember losing money or not making much if I did trade it. that's about it for me. I mean, what do you think, Cuddy? What do you see here?
Um, I see a stock that like gaps up and holds its gains. When all these like green bars, I mean, I guess I'm looking specifically at 2023. I don't think I've ever traded this ticker. It's not in my trade log, but I feel like February I should have been blown out of the water. I should have gotten touched.
We tried, yeah.
But I don't have that in my trade log. So I don't know. Like it looks like a stock that's been difficult to short in the past. Um, it looks like not the most diluted piece of crap I've ever seen.
Right.
But you know, does that mean it's going to run some more on earnings? I don't know. It's really right now. It's like I don't know if there's a huge correlation to the overall markets, but it's really hard to imagine anything gets running right now. Um,
True.
so that's kind of my take. Like I really don't want to be long biased on anything. All of my losses lately have been long.
Yeah, it's been tough. And that's what makes this probably a no play for me because like yeah, do I ever long a day one gapper? No, I don't have that skill set. But then especially wouldn't even if I was, I would feel less comfortable in this market environment. But then two, I mean I don't short earnings winners, whether this is an earnings winner or not. Like I really could care less to short something no matter how much it's up. That's up on earnings, you know. It doesn't mean they can't fade. They sometimes do, but it's one of those things where if I short it and lose, I'm gonna be like duh, or the odds were significantly less in your favor because it has maybe a more stronger fundamental backing behind the move, whether it's actually legit or not, whether it's gonna withstand itself and hold it up here or not. Who cares? Maybe it's right back down in the week, but in the short term, I would say the odds don't favor shorting on earnings winners days for most tickers. So not really going to be my cup of tea. So yeah, that's that one. I think that's it. I mean, we have AZI up 60%, but again, we're not really that excited about gappers that are up that much. Again, what do you know? Another 16-cent ticker. Maybe this drops to 5 cents today. Like the trend we've been seeing, but yeah, that's it. A little slower day, which again, I'm okay with. I actually have a flight today, towards late day. So, let's hope I don't have any trades I need to stop out on or any new ones I feel like I need to take. It'd be nice to just not lose, because we've been doing
That's
that
a nice
all
change
week.
of pace.
Yeah, we've been doing that all week. But yeah, well, we got, I don't know, 10 more minutes. Let's answer some questions and then we'll get on out of here for a lovely Friday. Everyone's saying good morning. Yes, good morning, chat. Jabril says, I gave up shorting on the market because it's always green. Now I constantly have big red days. Might make a market cooler. I mean, I feel like I can't remember if Jabril was the guy we talked about where you were losing every day against the overall markets and it's because you were buying puts on the overall indexes. I don't remember if that was you or somebody else. But it's like I remember when we had that conversation, I think it was a Wine Wednesday. We were like, well, that makes sense. Like if you're going to buy puts against the overall market index, like that's a swimming against the tide kind of strategy. That's a tough one,
Betting against America.
Yeah, that's not a good streak. But if that isn't you, and you just gave up shorting because it's tough and going into longing, I mean, yeah, longing is, even in a strong market, longing is still a lower win rate activity. So it's just that it's a higher risk reward activity. So you're still going to lose a lot. It's just that when you win, you ideally, if you do it right, win significantly more than when you lose. Let's see. Been watching your review, Kyle. Curious, how do you scan for Kuomagi swing setups? Do you have a list of stuff and such? You got to study. I mean, if you watch his videos, he tells you. He tells you where to scan, how to scan. He has a whole video. It's like 7 hours of what he calls a swing trading school. And in one of the videos, he goes over how to scan. That's how I learned. That's how I scanned. I'll give you the gist of it, but I highly recommend you watch that video. He scans for stocks up 30% in the last 1, 3, or 6 months. That's what he does. Did either of you end up trading FTEL yesterday? I don't think I ever even heard of FTEL. Oh no, yeah, this is the one. I'm thinking different ticker. We talked about this. This is the one I got all frustrated with because their PR was absolute BS. No, I don't think Huddy did. Correct me if I'm wrong, Huddy. I didn't. It kind of faded too much. Even if I wanted to, by the open. Where's the open? Yeah, it gave back like more than half its spike by the open. That wouldn't have been great. I mean, although it never spiked at all, and then you could have maybe gotten short risking the highs. That would have been a good risk reward idea. But no, it gave too much back for me to really care, unfortunately. But it did go lower. It did get obliterated. For how much I hated it pre-market, that didn't shock me one bit. They were there to just do whatever they needed to do with a fluffy BSPR. And that is what they did. That's exactly what they did. So
I personally don't trade floats under 1 mil. So regardless of how much I think it's a stupid PR or whatever, like it's just kind of a rule for me.
yeah, that as well. It's always a little riskier. And that's it, guys. I don't see any other questions. Wayne says DTCK, nice drop. DTCK is another liquidation play. So yeah, this drop doesn't shock me in the slightest. Not one bit.
So ticker DCTK.
Yeah. Yeah, you see how this gets that they definitely were selling shares or like doing what they do best. When they take it sideways like this, perfectly sideways because there's someone probably big on the ask and big on the bid. Sketchy. Someone's looking to wash sale or dump shares when volume comes in out of nowhere. Sketch. But we'll stay here another minute or two, guys. But if I don't see another question, we're just going to leave early. We only got like 5 more minutes anyway. We're going to leave early anyway today. A little slower day. Again, if your setups aren't out there, don't trade. Easiest way to save yourself some money. Big time. Did MTC drop as well? I mean, both of those are former sketchy McSketchersons. No, this one didn't have it. This is just gapping down. It's not a big drop. This isn't like DTCK. This MTC, though, had a huge liquidation last time. I mean, this was a big fade on a ton of volume at the time. I don't know if they did a split. I don't think they did. Maybe they did. I don't remember. But I remember looking at the intraday chart of this, and this had some heavy selling. But don't really care if it does it again or not. It's not our thing. But all right, guys. I don't see any new questions. Let's see. But yeah, study up this weekend. Review your trades. I know I should. Just see. Because sometimes you can lose and not have anything wrong. Like I don't think I necessarily did anything. There's a couple mistakes I made, but really it was just over trading. It was giving shots, setups a try when maybe you could think twice. Like, maybe you save the loser. Maybe you save yourself. El Jefe already answered that pretty much. MTC too sketchy for a 3-day short. I mean, yeah, MTC is a forward liquidation play. Like we talked about it, I think yesterday or on a Wednesday. Like there's not a world where I'd probably touch this short because it is riddled with absolutely the sketchiest price action and squeezing you could possibly ask for. If there's one trade I know to not touch and save myself a loss, it is not trading MTC. That is a almost a certainty. So, last question from him. Do you guys also short easy to borrow stocks? I mean, if they're easy to borrow, yeah. If it doesn't, yeah. I don't care. A lot of people, and tell me if you feel differently about this, Huddy, but I feel like a lot of people try to find an edge in like, if it's hard to borrow, if it's easy to borrow, if it's reg show, if it's not, if it's SSR, if it's not. Maybe there's some back-tested data on that. All of that, I don't care. If there's a pattern in front of me that requires me to short sell, I will short sell it. I don't care if it's easy to borrow. I don't care if it's hard to borrow. I don't care if it's SSR. I don't care if it's reg show. Like, I am shorting it. Some people like try to overthink it, like, but the short interest is this much, and it looks like this, and then there's the broker told me the borrow costs are higher. Like, I don't care. Look at like the price action is going to tell me what the hell to do. So, yeah, none of that matters to me. Would you agree, Hoodie? You don't have to be as passionate.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me either.
There we go. Perfect. Alrighty, guys. thanks for tuning in. Again, a little short episode today, but again, a little slower of a day out there. Again, have a great weekend. Stay safe. Come ready more prepared than you were this week. And do we have a quote for us, Huddy? Or no?
No, not today.
Not today. No quote. All right. Well, enjoy your weekend, guys, and we will catch you guys next time.